for 3 free throws he hit against Hayward High School. I don't think we'll ever forget that. When he got fouled, we were on the bench, and I mean, the coach was just like, we don't know what's going to happen. We have no idea what's going to happen. And I was just trying to find out if we had 3 shots. And when we found out he had 3 shots, in my head, I'm like, no high school kid should have to go through this. Really. Like, no high school kid should have to go through this. And I told Foster, I'm like, okay, if he gets 2, I'm still going to be proud of him. It doesn't matter, you know. And he went down and he hit all 3. And actually, every time he shot one, the other ones got even better. It was like they weren't even hitting the rim. And he played very, very well in that game and even down the stretch. So our award this year for most improved player goes to Joaquin. This next player, again, kind of fell in the same boat as Joaquin when we first got here. We didn't really know much about him, and as the season went on, we realized what a valuable player he was. This kid, we could put him on a 6'9" kid if we wanted to, and he would guard him. And we could also put him on a 5'6" guy, and he would guard him too. He became our defensive stopper, pretty much. And the most memorable thing I remember of this year was against Arroyo. We put him on, what was his name? James Davis, a kid that's already signed to go to Northern Colorado. And we put him on it, and he was so frustrated. I mean, the kid was so frustrated that he was cussing. And then the second time we played, I don't know if you remember, he got 2 technicals against us. To the point where against San Leandro, Hamid Ali, the best player on San Leandro, came over to our bench and said, "Can you please get him off me?" We laughed at him because that's what he did. He was a defensive stopper and he got after it. And I mean, he's not the best athlete in the world, but he takes what he has and he uses it to the fullest. And that's what makes him a great defender and a great basketball player. So our defensive award this year goes to Larry Salas. Our last 2 awards, it was hard to kind of make a decision on who would get this award, so we decided to give it to 2 different people. The first person transferred here in the senior year, which almost never happens here. But he got in, and I can only imagine the tough time it was to come from public school in Berkeley to here to go to school. And not only that, he was expected to play basketball on an extremely high level because he was a senior, and we demanded he play at a certain level. And he came over here, and he played extremely well. He led the North Coast section in 3-quarters shot and 3-quarters made. I think he was 3rd in the whole section in 3-point shooting percentage. He was one of the best free throw shooters, and not the Norco section, but in California. I think he was 9 in terms of percentage from the line. He got after it, and there's one thing that really touched me about him on the senior day. He hugged me and stuff, and he was like, "Thank you." You know, on senior day, you get all the truth out of everybody. Anyway, because it's over for them. They realize that it's over. And I tell them, senior day comes quicker than you think. And then you look up, and it's the last practice, it's the last game, and you're like, wow, you know, it's over. You know, it's maybe the last time I put this jersey on. But he came up to me, and he hugged me, and he said, "Thank you for everything you did." And the best part of that was he got knocked out of the game in the first half, but on the video, you can see him cheering, jumping up and down when Joaquin made a shot. Or when other people were making shots, he was giving high fives and stuff. That, to me, was the best part of it, to watch his maturism as the season went. So our co-MVP this year goes to Casey Hall. By the way, Casey was accepted into Howard. He just came back. He just got off the plane today from going out there to visit, playing basketball. And was kind of whooping up on the Howard players a lot. So stay tuned on what he's going to possibly do. Our second co-MVP. That's several. He had a 3.17 GPA. He also went first team all-league. And this kid is an example of what hard work can do for you. I think last year he averaged about 6 or 7 points a game, and this year he averaged almost 20. My dad works out at 24-Hour Fitness, and he says he sees him every day there. Even when we have practice, he'll see him. So the kid did what a lot of people won't do. In the summer, he didn't play AAU at all. He locked himself in the gym and worked on his skills. And got his skills better to the point where he was one of the premier players in the league. I think he ended up being the second leading scorer overall in the league. And one of the top scorers in our section. He got better as the season went on. With his mid-range jumper and going to the basket, and he's just a competitor, and that's why I like him. So our second co-MVP for this year goes to Andy Mitchell. And our last player was not here. We had two that wasn't here. Brad wasn't here, and TJ Book, who wasn't here, so we'll make sure they definitely get all of their awards as soon as possible. A couple people I want to thank, though. Shane, give me those flowers. I want to thank one of our team moms, because she's here right now. The other one is not here because her mother died. But one of our team moms this year, Nellie, we wanted to make sure we got here. You don't have to run. And I just want to thank all of the parents for putting up with me and the staff and our practice times and allowing me to work with your sons. It was an interesting year this year. I don't think I would ever have to say this, but I think because we won so many games was bad in terms of what ended up happening in the playoffs. Because we ended up being the 9 seed, they sent us to Oregon to play our first game. Actually on the border of Oregon to Crescent City. It took us 10 hours to get there. We found out Sunday at 3 o'clock, and Monday was President's Day. So it was almost impossible to find a charter bus or flights. We had Andy's dad trying to find his airplane tickets and everything. We had people online. But Andy's dad finally got us a charter bus. We left at 6 in the morning and got there at 5:30 in the afternoon. And we played at 7. So you can imagine the turnaround. We had 4 kids who got motion sickness on the way up. We had to stop, and they were throwing up and eating crackers and drinking 7-Up on the way there. I think we took 57 people on the trip with us. So we took all of the players and most of their parents. So it was more like a celebration than a playoff game in terms of coaching. You know, we kind of like, we want the kids to be locked in, but we understand that it was big for the program, for the whole school, for the first time to go to the playoffs. So hopefully it was a trip that they will always remember. A couple of things I'll definitely remember on the trip is the liquor store by where we stayed, they sold